It's finally happening. The Sony A7 V has just been registered. This model is almost certainly the upcoming Sony A7 V, which is expected to be announced in mid-November and begin shipping around January or February. The Sony A7 V rumor mill has kicked into gear, which suggests the full-frame all-rounder could land soon. Tipsters speculate October or November this year. I reckon the latter of the two is more likely, but anything could happen. So, what does A7 V need in order to steal back that best camera crown from Nikon and defend that spot from a potential Canon EOS R6 Mark III? I've handpicked 5 upgrades that it really needs. New kind of sensor. The new camera leaked to A7 V images, one of which suggests that the upcoming model will have a 33 MP full-frame sensor. That's the same resolution as the A7 IV, and already a sweet spot in the mid-range market. What's less sweet is the performance of the A7 IV's sensor. It has known rolling shutter distortion in high-speed shooting and for video. To truly better rivals, the A7 V needs a new kind of sensor, even if resolution remains the same. If the A7 V were to have a speedier 33 MP sensor, then it's off to a great start. A global shutter like in the A9 III would be another level, but it's highly unlikely. I'd be surprised if the sensor turns out to be the exact same one as before, but I'm also unconvinced it'll be a stacked or partially stacked type either. Expect a tweaked sensor, perhaps with faster readout speeds and improved stabilization performance. This upgrade feels like a safe bet. All current Sony Alpha cameras following the A7 IV, starting with the A7 V, feature an AI chip that powers sophisticated subject detection and tracking autofocus skills. Placing such a feature in the A7 V wouldn't tread on the toes of its pricier siblings, the A7 V, A1 and A9 III. On the contrary, I'd expect Sony to introduce this upgrade to the A7 V. The upshot will be improved autofocus speed and performance for a wider range of subjects. Couple that with a speedier sensor and the A7 V would already be shaping up nicely. Plus, there could be even more performance-based upgrades. Continuous burst shooting needs a boost. Image credit, future. The third upgrade should also center on speed, this time in the form of Sony's latest Bions XR processor and improved burst shooting performance. The A7 IV maxes out at a rudimentary 10 fps in its continuous high-speed mode, and those burst sequences don't even last that long before the camera slows down. Rivals like the EOS R6 Mark II and Nikon Z6 III are leagues above, with faster and longer burst shooting capabilities. If the A7 V were to combine a stacked or partially stacked 33 MP sensor with Sony's latest processor, quicker burst shooting and autofocus, it would feel like a much more polished A7 IV, and one that could hold its own against the very best mid-range models of 2025. I think it is possible that the sensor will be included in the A7 V. The official features listed by Sony are 35mm full-size back illuminated CMOS image sensor input clock frequency 74.25 MHz, all pixel readout mode asterisk, horizontal vertical to halves line binning, vertical 1/3 subsampling, horizontal 3 Binning vertical 1/9. Subsampling horizontal 3 binning. Window readout function. Rolling shutter function moving picture mode. All pixel simultaneous reset supported. Electronic first curtain shutter. H driver, V driver and serial communication circuit on chip. 27 decibels gain in CDS, PGA on chip. Built-in 11-bit, 12-bit, 13-bit, 14-bit deconverter. 16-lane SLVSCC interface to LINK. RGB primary color mosaic filter on chip. 4K 60 with no crop or better yet 6K 60. Focus stacking. Better cooling for 4K recording. A better EVF and screen. Quite frankly, the screen on this camera is so bad. It doesn't get very bright, is low resolution, small, and not very responsive when using touch controls. Whenever I pick up a Nikon or Canon, the first thing I notice is how much nicer their screens are. However, they're nothing to write home about either. In an ocean of 3.0 to 3.2-inch camera LCDs, I'd love to see Sony push the boundaries and introduce an amazing display that could actually be used to review footage and images. It would be awesome to see a thin-bezeled, high-resolution, LED backlit, bright, 4-inch display on a camera, kind of like the screen's Hasselblad uses. Sensor and resolution, a continuation of the 3.3 MP full-frame Exmor. Our CMOS sensor found in the A7 IV, offering excellent dynamic range and low light performance. Processor, the A7 V could inherit the advanced Bions XR processor from the A7 IV while incorporating the AI processing chip featured in the Sony A9 III. This would enhance computational photography capabilities like real-time subject recognition and tracking, autofocus, improved AI-based autofocus, benefiting from faster and more accurate subject detection and recognition technologies, continuous shooting, up to 10 frames per second FPS, with the mechanical or electronic shutter. When using the compressed RAW or JPEG format, 5.76 meters. TrueFinder old EVF, an upgrade from the 3.68 meters. EVF of the A7 IV. Body design, borrowing the A9ii's ergonomic design. The A7 V could feature a more comfortable grip, better button placement, and increased durability for demanding use cases. Video features. Continuation of 4K 60 fps. Recording with Sony's excellent color science and 10-bit 4222. Recording for high-quality post-production flexibility. This scenario is likely to appeal to photographers who value reliability and consistency, as it builds upon the A7 I's already strong foundation. The Sony A7 V uses that new sensor than specs could be something like this. New sensor, 4.4 MP full-frame Exmor CMOS sensor IMX366. This sensor would push resolution while improving readout speeds for better video and still performance.